So this here is a copy of a artistic carving company of Boston Eagle. It's a 36-inch side. I'm not sure if that's the size they actually made or not, but it's very popular. The originals were made in the mid 20th century. At one time they sold in the thousands. The market's kind of crapped out, but they still sell for the anywhere from $500 to $1,500, depending on the size. The standard size for it, I think, is like 50 inches or 48 inches, something like that. This one's 36 from tip to tip of the banners. It's about 4 inches thick. It's a piece of clear white pine in 8/4, and a good lumber yard. It's pretty close to 2 inches. This is the head. It's gonna come out from the back just like it normally would, and this will be the highest point right here. This will all be gradually curved down. This is a shield. Let me see, where is it? Oh. Here's what it's going to look like. This is the exact same size template. This is a pattern that I sell on my website, johnshortell.com. I have a lot of patterns there. Basically, when you buy it, you download it, you print it out on 8.5 by 11 paper, tape it up, and I cover it completely with packing tape on both sides, and then as a permanent template, I'll put it on hardboard, or I'm not sure what you call this stuff, tempered hardboard, whatever. But I also will print out at least one extra one, and I'll cut it up into sections. So as I'm going, like, I already cut the head out of an extra one, and I used it to trace this on a spare piece of wood. So I had it pretty well right where it's supposed to be. I'm not wasting a lot of time carving the wood that I don't need. And that's glued on, and then once I get all this laid down, I will, or leveled out where it's supposed to be, I'll cut a section out of here. I'll lay it on top of there to trace the leaves out where they belong, the feathers out where they belong, and the claws. Yeah, so start cutting this. You're gonna need not a whole lot of tools, but the more you have, the easier it's gonna be. The main, probably the tool you're gonna use the most is some kind of deep gouge. This is a 935. I use this a lot. It's an expensive tool. It's probably $70, $80 if you bought it at or more at Woodcraft. The only place where you can get Swiss tools in the United States. They kind of have the whole business locked up. You could actually get by with 17. This is a 7. This is a 718. The first tool, and I still have it, I ever bought was a 720. You could do almost everything with that. It's going to take a lot longer, of course. A larger 725. That works really good too. A smaller 9, an 8. Anything that's got a good size gouge to it, or deep gouge to it. It'll take a lot of wood away very quickly. The edges won't get caught if you took a more shallow tool like this 7, where'd it go, 718 right here, and you got too deep. It doesn't take much to get below the level of the wood and kind of make a mess. This is fine, making a mess when you're removing lots of wood. You just got to be careful not to take wood where you don't want to remove it. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to go in stages. I'm going to level out the wings, lay down where they belong. I'll edge out around here with a V-tool and around here. And then I'll get this down to the level where it belongs. And then I'll start carving the head, shaping that. This is actually the banner, continuation of this. And this is going to go almost straight down and underneath the shield. If you can picture what's going on here, the shield's going to come down around like this. This is going to drop from the height of the mouth all the way down. So this will be a pretty sharp, kind of like a water slide. And the same here. This is coming in from the back of the nose, of the beak, and this will be quite a bit lower, and that's going to drop down real sharp. And these will undulate and give it some three-dimensional look. And so that's what we're going to do. And you can follow along. I'll try to keep up and remember to tell you what tool I'm using when I switch off, but after a while I'll probably stop. But you'll know after you see me pick this up 100 times that it's a 935. And there's certain V-tools I'll use over and over and over again. I've got well over 100 different carving tools, but I use a handful most of the time. Some of the stuff is almost never used. Some of the stuff is used some of the time. It all depends on the situation. So let's start. We're going to line out around some of the details here, and that's mostly so I don't break any of this away. I mean, you can start setting it in if you want, but that's usually asking for trouble if there's no place for the wood to go. It's got to be some place for it to bend away, or it might break in this direction. So if you have a space there for the wood to go and you hit that, it's always going to break on that side, not on this side. So, let me just tighten this up a little bit. This is a homemade carving arm. A lot of them that you buy is just one arm. This is two. It holds large carvings. I stick it right in the vise here. I can move it anywhere I want, forward, backwards. Maybe later when I get this off, I'll show you how it's made. No need to buy one. Trip to Home Depot and maybe $50, and you can have one of the best carving vices or benches you can buy. Even with this, you can go too deep. Actually, I'm using not a V-tool. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There we go. Okay. This is a 15/6. It's probably the one I use the most. It's not a, I don't know what angle it is. 60 degrees maybe. It seems a little small on something this big, but you don't need a lot of depth. You just want to give yourself some room for the wood to break away. you've done that, then you can go to town, start removing some wood. And you can see I'm not afraid to remove some wood. As long as you've got some safety lines there, you can let it go. So before I get too carried away though, let's draw out the top here. So heavy. Normally I would just wing it, but so you can see what I'm doing. Let's see. I don't know where my marker is, so I use this for now. But so the wings taper. They're a little thin center in here. And then the thickest point is right about in here. And then they taper gradually to right about here. And the wing, and when I'm done, is not going to look that thick on that end because I'm going to back cut it. So when we get to here, it's going to be really very thin looking. So that's the line we're going to follow when we start cutting. Do the same over here. Right about at the height of that is also the apex here is also the apex here, basically. And then this grows. Actually, this actually works out pretty good. You can see the grain almost follows that perfectly. It's going to be pretty strong. And because the grain is going that way, it's going to be easier to carve. I didn't plan it that way, but that's how it worked out. Pull this back a little bit. And let's see. Let me get this close to where it belongs. This is a 35 millimeter wide, 2 sweep, and the Swedish or Swiss numbering system. It's almost as flat as you can get without being a completely straight chisel. It's one of my favorite. I have a number 2 on almost every width. Makes it really nice and easy to get a smooth surface when you're finishing off. I'm just getting close to the line here. Once I get the wing hollowed out, I'll go back and get it, put it where it belongs, all the way in. And kind of screwed myself with this. Normally, if the grain is fairly straight, and this way here it's all kind of leaning, going this way, I'll actually be going against the grain. I can scoop out big chunks that'd be just flying out. And it gets kind of scary. They tear away, you get a lot of tear out. But it makes things go really fast. The way it's sitting here, I'm actually carving instead of just, I don't know, shoveling out chunks. I'm actually shaving it out. Takes quite a bit longer. carvers, when they're removing waste, they'll go across the grain like this, as you can see. With this particular wood, this is pretty soft wood, pine, white pine. You really don't, it's really slower. It's faster to chunk it out like that. Now, if this was a real big eagle, like the 6-footers I do, or 7-footers, I would take this outside if it's nice out, and take a angle grinder with one of them discs that go on it that are all gnarly and burly, and they got holes in them. I think they call them a Holy Galahad or something like that. And you can see what you're doing, and it just removes the wood real fast, but boy, it makes a mess. So for a little bit extra time, this still makes a mess. Stuff goes everywhere. So this width up here, this is the absolute highest or thickest. When it gets down here, it's going to be pretty thin all the way down here. So it'll slope in like that. Give me a lot of room for this to have some nice movement. And that's pretty much there where it's going to be.